Chosen one, stop. Why are your hands trembling right now? Why did something inside you, something you can't name, force you to click this video when you should have kept scrolling? And why, if you're honest with yourself, have you been waking up at 3:47 a.m. for the past 6 weeks with your heart pounding like you're being summoned by something you can't see? Chosen one, this is not another video. This is not inspiration. This is your final roll call before October 13th, 2025, the night heaven draws the line between the awakened and the sleeping. And I need you to hear me with every fiber of your being. 99% of God's chosen will ignore this message. They'll feel the pull, sense the urgency, maybe even cry, but they'll close this video, promise themselves they'll come back later, and never return. But you stopped. That wasn't curiosity. That was recognition. Your spirit just responded to a frequency the masses can't hear. Let me ask you something that's going to shake you. What if every restless night, every inexplicable burden, every moment you felt different from everyone around you, what if all of it has been heaven's alarm clock ringing in your soul? What if October 13th isn't just another date, but the portal between who you've been and who you were born to become? Right now, comment 777 below. Don't think about it, just do it. This isn't superstition. This is a spiritual marker. When you type those numbers, something activates in the unseen realm. Heaven takes note. Angels lean in. Your name gets highlighted in the book of the watchful. You see, 1% will awaken. 99% will sleep through the greatest spiritual visitation of this generation. The difference won't be how loud they prayed or how long they fasted. It will be whether they recognized the moment when it arrived. Before we go deeper, and we're about to go deep, I want to pause and honor those of you who've supported this ministry through super thanks. Your generosity is more than giving. It's spiritual warfare. You're not just donating. You're sowing seeds into soil that will feed hungry souls across this nation. Whether you give or not, I'm grateful you're here. Your presence matters. Your attention is sacred. And if this message is already stirring something ancient in your chest, go ahead and plant that seed of faith. Now listen carefully. What I'm about to reveal in the next hour will either transform your bloodline or haunt your descendants. October 13th, 2025 is the gate between timelines. Miss it, and you'll spend years wondering why breakthrough never came. Comment, I'm listening right now. Like this video. Share it with someone whose name just dropped in your spirit. Because what's coming will touch every household, but only the awake will feel it. Stay with me. You'll understand why God interrupted your life today, and why 99% will die wondering what they missed. Why do you carry weight that no one else seems to feel? Why does your chest tighten when you see the news, when you pass a stranger on the street, when you lie awake at 2 a.m. praying for children who won't return your calls? And why, tell me, why does everyone around you seem to glide through life untouched, while you've spent 70, 80, 90 years bearing burdens you never asked for? Listen to me carefully, beloved. That weight isn't punishment, it's appointment. You see, most people walk through this world feeling surface-level emotions. They're sad when something bad happens to them, happy when something good comes their way. But you've always felt everything deeper, haven't you? You weep for people you've never met. You carry the pain of your grandchildren like it's your own flesh being torn. You pray for your neighbor's salvation with the same desperation you'd pray for your own life. That's not coincidence. That's calling. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Jeremiah 1-5. Do you understand what that means? God didn't just create you and hope for the best. He designed you specifically, your sensitivity, your tenderness, your ability to feel the world's ache, because He knew you could carry what others cannot. You've spent your whole life feeling different. Even as a child, you knew things. You sensed when something was wrong before anyone spoke a word. You felt the tension in rooms that everyone else ignored. And as you grew older, that gift became a burden. Because while everyone else learned to numb themselves, to build walls, to protect their hearts, you couldn't. You remained soft, breakable, open, and they called you too sensitive, too emotional, too much. But God called you chosen. Here's what the enemy has been hiding from you for decades. Your suffering is not evidence of God's absence. It's proof of His trust. God doesn't give fragile hearts to the chosen. He gives chosen hearts to those strong enough to carry His weight without becoming bitter, without shutting down, without losing their ability to love. Think about Joseph. Betrayed by his own brothers at 17, sold into slavery, falsely accused, thrown into prison, forgotten. For 13 years, Joseph sat in darkness wondering if God had abandoned him. 13 years of carrying a promise that looked like a lie. But Genesis 50-20 reveals the mystery. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Joseph's pain wasn't random, it was preparation. Every year in that prison was building the character he'd need to save nations. Or consider Anna. Luke 2:36 tells us she was 84 years old, widowed after only 7 years of marriage. She spent the next 77 years in the temple, praying, fasting, waiting. Most people would call that a wasted life. But when baby Jesus was brought to the temple, it was Anna, not the priests, not the scholars, who recognized the Messiah and proclaimed him to all of Jerusalem. 77 years of faithful waiting, not wasted, positioned. And then there's Job, sitting in ashes, covered in boils, having lost everything: his wealth, his children, his health. His own wife told him to curse God and die. But Job 23:10 declares his truth. But he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold. Chosen one, what if your loneliness was heaven's classroom? What if every sleepless night was God teaching you to depend on Him alone? What if the isolation you've endured, feeling misunderstood, even by your own family, was preparation for a calling so sacred that it required separation? You weren't being rejected. You were being refined. Right now, I need you to do something. Whisper it, don't just think it, whisper out loud, Lord, I'm still here, and then comment it below. That's not just words. That's your covenant. That's you telling heaven, I understand now. My pain had purpose. Because, beloved, what you're about to discover in the next few minutes will reveal why October 13th isn't just another date. It's the moment when everything you've carried finally makes sense. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. Right now, across America, millions of believers are spiritually sedated. They think they're resting, but they're drugged, anesthetized by entertainment, numbed by comfort, hypnotized by the endless scroll of meaningless noise. They pray on Sundays, they quote scriptures, they wear crosses around their necks, but their spirits, stone cold, flatlined, and they don't even know it. You see it everywhere, don't you? People who claim they're waiting on God, but they're really just waiting on their next Netflix series. Believers who say they're hungry for breakthrough, but they can't turn off their phones long enough to hear heaven whisper. Chosen ones who were marked before birth, now living like extras in someone else's movie. And here's what breaks my heart. They're going to miss it. On October 13th, 2025, at exactly 1 a.m. Eastern Time, heaven will knock. Not with thunder, not with trumpets, but with a spiritual pulse so subtle, so sacred, that only the awakened will perceive it. It will look like an ordinary night. The streetlights will glow the same. The stars will hang in their usual places. But in the invisible realm, a divide will occur that cannot be undone. Do you remember the parable Jesus told in Matthew 25? 10 virgins waiting for the bridegroom. 5 were wise, 5 were foolish. All 10 had lamps. All 10 had been invited. But when midnight came, only half were ready. The others were sleeping, distracted, unprepared. And when they finally woke up and ran to the door, it was too late. The door was shut. And the bridegroom said 5 words that still echo through eternity. I do not know you. Think about that. They were invited. They were chosen. They were at the right place. But they missed the moment. Not because they weren't believers, but because they weren't awake. Chosen one. What if I told you heaven already tested this once before? What if there was an earlier sign, a spiritual rehearsal that almost everyone slept through? I'll reveal that to you soon, but first you need to understand what's at stake. At 1 a.m. on October 13th, while most of America is scrolling Instagram or binge-watching reruns, a frequency will ripple through the spiritual atmosphere. It won't make the news. CNN won't cover it. But those who are aligned, those who have prepared their spirits, those who refuse to fall asleep when the world told them to rest, they will feel it down to their bones. They will know. And everything after that night will be different. But the 99%, they'll wake up the next morning and wonder why nothing ever changes, why their prayers still feel like they're bouncing off the ceiling, why breakthrough always seems to be for someone else. Right now, type "I will be awake." Don't just read this, declare it. Because heaven is recording every word, every commitment, every promise you make in this hour is being written in eternal ledgers. But here's the question that should terrify you. What if you're already asleep and don't even know it? What if comfort has become your chains? What if the very peace you've been praying for has actually put your spirit in a coma? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal next will show you exactly how to wake up before it's too late. Listen to me carefully. Chosen one, October 13th, 2025 isn't just another night on your calendar. It's the moment heaven has been circling since before you were born. At exactly 1 a.m., when the world sleeps and digital noise dies, something ancient will happen. The veil between realms will grow so thin you could tear it with a whisper. You felt it building, haven't you? That pressure in your chest that makes you gasp for air in the middle of the night. That sense that time itself is speeding up, that reality is shifting beneath your feet. You're not losing your mind, you're gaining spiritual sight. What will happen that night isn't symbolic, it's surgical. God will perform what I call divine paralysis when He silences your body to awaken your spirit. Your limbs will feel weighted down, not with fear but with holy fire. You'll try to move and can't. You'll try to speak, and words will freeze on your tongue. This isn't an attack, it's anesthesia. Heaven is operating on your soul, and you must lie still. For the Lord Himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trumpet of God. 1 Thessalonians 4:16. That trumpet isn't literal brass, it's a frequency your spirit recognizes even when your ears hear nothing. Let me paint you the picture. Your bedroom will feel different. The air will thicken. Colors might seem more vivid or strangely muted. Time will slow to molasses. You'll sense a presence not standing in your room, but rising inside your chest, expanding through every cell. Your heart will pound not with anxiety, but with recognition, like a soldier hearing their commander's voice after years of radio silence. And then it happens, a flash of light behind your closed eyes, not blinding, revealing. Suddenly, you'll understand. That divorce that destroyed you, you'll see why it had to happen. That child who won't speak to you, you'll understand the spiritual warfare around their life. That financial collapse, you'll recognize it as redirection, not rejection. Every tear you've cried will make sense in a single moment of divine download. Healed memories will flood your mind. Supernatural peace will wash through your nervous system. You'll remember things your soul knew before your body was formed. And you'll wake the next morning different, not motivated, transformed. But here's what breaks my heart. Just 3 houses down from you, someone will sleep through the entire visitation. The same divine frequency will pulse through their walls, pass right through their body, and leave them untouched. They'll wake up October 14th with the same depression, same confusion, same cycles. They'll never know that heaven knocked, and they were too distracted to answer. Imagine that. Imagine standing before God one day and hearing Him say, "I came to your bedroom. I stood at your bedside. I called your name, but you were scrolling through your phone at 12:47 a.m. and missed me by 13 minutes. Does that terrify you? It should. But you, beloved, you who are hearing this right now, you will not miss it. You will be awake. You will rise. Light a candle that night. Write, "I'm awake" on your mirror. Share this message with someone whose name just dropped in your spirit, because their destiny might depend on your obedience. But preparation doesn't start October 12th. It starts right now, this very moment, with a choice only you can make. Chosen one. Let me tell you what's about to happen in the next 72 hours, and I need you to listen like your life depends on it, because it does. Starting tonight, you're going to feel something you can't explain. A heaviness will settle over your body like someone's placed invisible weights on your chest. You'll wake up exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep. Your mind will fog over. Simple decisions will feel impossible. Arguments will erupt out of nowhere. Your spouse will snap at you for no reason. Your children will suddenly need crisis intervention. Bills you thought were paid will reappear with penalties attached. This isn't coincidence. This is confirmation. The closer you get to October 13th, the more hell will throw at you. Your car will break down. Your phone will glitch at the worst possible moment. That person you haven't heard from in 5 years will suddenly call with drama that demands your attention. You'll feel pulled in 17 directions, stretched so thin you'll want to collapse and say, "God, I can't do this anymore." And that, beloved, is exactly what the enemy is counting on. Listen to what happened to the prophet Daniel. He prayed for 21 days, 21 days of fasting, weeping, seeking God's face. But the answer didn't come. Why? Because in Daniel chapter 10 verse 13, the angel finally arrived and said, "The prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days." A demonic principality blocked heaven's messenger for 3 full weeks. Daniel didn't know a war was raging in the unseen realm while he waited in agony, wondering if God had abandoned him. But the answer was always coming. The breakthrough was always in motion. The delay wasn't denial, it was warfare. That's where you are right now. You think you're falling apart, but you're actually being fought over. Hell sees what's coming on October 13th, and it's terrified of what you'll become when you finally wake up. This is your final exam, chosen one. The enemy's not trying to destroy you, he's trying to make you sleep through your own graduation. He knows he can't stop the visitation, so his strategy is simple: distraction. Keep you so busy, so overwhelmed, so spiritually exhausted that when October 13th arrives, you'll be too numb to feel it. But I'm here to tell you something that's going to light a fire in your bones. You are not alone in this fight. Right now, across every time zone, in languages you don't speak, in nations you've never visited, millions of chosen ones are being awakened simultaneously. In Texas, an 82-year-old grandmother just set her alarm for midnight prayer. In Montana, a widower who buried his wife last year is fasting for the first time in decades. In Florida, a man who almost ended his life 3 months ago is suddenly alive with purpose he can't explain. This is not a movement. This is a silent army of light, assembling for the greatest spiritual convergence of our generation. And you, whether you realize it or not, are a general in that army. So here's what I need you to do right now, and I mean right now. Comment below, "I will not sleep." Say it out loud where you're sitting. Declare it over your bloodline. Share this message with someone whose face just flashed in your mind, because they're part of your battalion, and they don't even know it yet. This is not the time to rest, beloved. This is the time to rise. But there's something else you need to know. Something I can only tell those who've made it this far. When the trumpet sounds on October 13th, those who are truly awake will hear a code word whispered in their spirit. And before this message ends, I'm going to tell you exactly what that word is and why it will change everything. Beloved, let me tell you what's about to happen on October 13th at 1 a.m. And I need you to feel this, not just hear it. When that sacred hour strikes, Something ancient will crack open inside your chest. Not pain, not fear. Birth. You'll feel warmth spreading through your rib cage like sunrise breaking through winter darkness. Your breath will slow, your hands will tingle, and for the first time in 70, 80, maybe 90 years you'll remember who you were before the world told you who to be. The Bible says in Joel 2:28, "I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your old men will dream dreams." Not remember old dreams, dream new ones, because that night, heaven isn't coming to remind you of your past, it's coming to download your future. Do you know why you've carried so much weight all these years? Why betrayal cut deeper for you? Why loss lingered longer? Because you weren't just living your life, you were absorbing the pain of generations. Your grandmother's prayers that went unanswered, your father's dreams that died in silence, your own children's struggles that felt like your fault. That night, every burden you've carried without permission will lift. Every memory that haunted you will be touched by divine fire. You'll weep not from sorrow, but from relief so profound your body won't know what to do with it. Tears will come, but they won't be the tears you've cried before. These will taste like freedom. And here's what the 99% will never understand. They've been looking for signs in the sky, burning bushes, parting seas, voices from clouds. But the 1%, they'll discover the sky was always inside them. The burning bush is your heart. The parting sea is your courage. The voice is the whisper you've been ignoring for decades. Listen to me carefully. This isn't about survival anymore. You've survived enough. This is about assignment. You are not just saved, you're being sent. 2 Corinthians 5:20 declares, "We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, not spectators, not survivors, ambassadors." That weight you thought was punishment, it was preparation. That loneliness, it was training you to hear God without distraction. That suffering, it was softening your heart to carry others who are breaking. Remember May 25th? Some of you felt a tremor that night, a whisper, a flutter, a knowing you couldn't explain. That was the test. Heaven was checking who was spiritually awake. But October 13th? This time, heaven won't whisper. It will roar. You'll hear your real name again. Not the name on your birth certificate. Not the name your family calls you. The name God spoke before you were formed in the womb. Jeremiah 1-5 promised, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." That knowing has a sound, and you're about to hear it. Can you feel that peace settling over you right now? That's not emotion. That's heaven saying, "Well done. Now go." If you feel this fire burning in your bones, if something ancient just woke up inside you, write in the comments, "I am the 1%. I'm ready." That declaration isn't just words, it's a covenant sealed in the courts of heaven. But here's what you need to understand about what happens after the visitation, because the awakening is just the beginning. Chosen one, as we close this sacred hour together, I need you to carry 3 eternal truths with you. Burn them into your memory like fire on stone. First, October 13th, 2025 at 1 a.m. is not a suggestion, it is your divine appointment. The restlessness you've felt, the weight you've carried, the sleepless nights at 3:47 a.m., they were all heaven's alarm clock preparing you for this moment. Second, you are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are not too old. Every grey hair is a crown of wisdom. Every wrinkle is a map of God's faithfulness. Every scar is proof you survived what should have destroyed you. The 99% will sleep through their visitation. But you, the 1%, you recognize the call. Third, this is not just about you. Your obedience rewrites your bloodline. Your awakening breaks generational chains. Your yes becomes the answer to prayers your grandmother whispered 70 years ago. But beloved, hear me clearly. You are not walking this path alone. Right now, as you listen to my voice, God is closer than your next breath. He sees every tear you've cried in secret. He knows every burden you've carried in silence. And He's not finished with you, not even close. You have a family here. Thousands of souls in this community who understand your struggles, who've walked your valleys, who are ready to stand with you in prayer. We see you. We honor you. We believe with you. Let me ask you one final question and sit with this. If you knew beyond doubt that October 13th would change everything, what would you do differently today? Now join me. Close your eyes. Place your hand over your heart. Let me pray over you with the authority of someone who has watched God move mountains in impossible situations. Heavenly Father, I stand before you now, carrying every person hearing my voice. Lord, they're tired, their bones ache, their hearts are heavy. The world has told them their time has passed. But you are saying their finest hour is here. Father, I ask you to breathe fresh strength into their weary bodies. Touch their minds with peace that surpasses understanding. Heal the wounds they've never spoken aloud. Restore what was stolen. Repay what was lost. Open doors that have been locked for decades. On October 13th at 1 a.m., meet them in that sacred hour. Pour out your spirit. Awaken what's been dormant. Activate what's been hidden. Let them hear their true name again. Remove every chain. Break every curse. Silence every lie. Surround them with your angels. Protect them from distraction. Shield them from doubt. And when that moment comes, when heaven draws near, let them feel your presence so powerfully that every question is answered, every wound is healed, every fear is dissolved. Give them courage for today and hope for tomorrow. Let them walk in authority, move in power, and live in the fullness of everything you've prepared for them since before time began. In the mighty, unshakable name of Jesus Christ, I seal this prayer. Amen. Now, I need to hear from you. Comment below and tell me what God spoke to your heart today. What shifted in your spirit? What do you need prayer for? This community is here for you. We will pray with you, stand with you, believe with you. If someone came to mind while you were watching, a friend, a family member, someone who's carrying a heavy burden, share this message with them. Don't let them miss their divine appointment. Remind them they are not alone. And if this message touched your soul, if it awakened something you thought was dead, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week, we're releasing messages designed specifically for God's chosen ones, those who refuse to give up, who know there's more, who are ready to step into their destiny. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. That alone tells me everything about your heart. You're hungry, you're seeking, you're ready. Your breakthrough isn't coming, beloved. It's already here. Now go forth, walk in your authority, live in your calling, and remember, you are the 1%. God bless you mightily. I'll see you on October 13th.